Now, we have to, as believers, we are in a culture that is highly sensitive. I mean, you really can't say anything anymore. People are so easily offended. For generations, people have been taking advantage of different groups and communities and people and children and all these things. And so now people are highly sensitive and easily offended, and situations come up that are simple, and we as believers, we fall very rapidly, we fall very easily, because we have a lot of undealt with and unresolved things. But I want you to understand this, that God is gracious, God is merciful, God is good, but we still have to deal with the reality of time. And I know you've been through a lot of things. I know you've seen a lot of discomfort and difficulty. And I know you have excuse. You have a right to give up on Jesus. You have a right in your natural, human, rational thinking to be offended for things that God allowed in your life. But at the end of the day, the time that you use being offended by God may be the time that you're mismanaging to the point where you're missing the miracle. Because if Joseph does not handle this moment right, if Joseph does not move out of his flesh and prophesy, not to prove himself, if he doesn't move out of his flesh and not bow to that depressive bout that wants him, if he doesn't move out of his flesh and do the word of the Lord and move out of his flesh and remain patient in that prison cell that he's setting other people free, then he could literally create a situation where he misses his miracle, right? I believe that I don't believe miracles are only in the sick being healed and the dead being raised. I don't believe that miracles are only in the realm of obvious supernatural activity. I believe that there are also moments in life that God orchestrates that are divine and miraculous, so that not just so that we would feel better and not just so that we would have a better life, but ultimately so that God would get the glory. And so it was divine and sovereign that Joseph would experience this mess, this calamity, this dark prison cell, and he had to keep his composure in a dark place. Put that in the chats. I will keep my composure. I will keep my composure. He had to keep his composure in a dark place, because his composure was ultimately what allowed him to manage that moment well. And because he managed that moment well, when the time came, he was able not just to be delivered and stand before Pharaoh, but give him the word of the Lord. A lot of us will be delivered from the prison cell, but will we have enough faith in God after that to do the assignment? Will we have enough faith in God that we don't corrupt who we've been sent to, because we're so jaded? We've been so focused on how we've been mishandled and mistreated that we can't even stay in the palace. We go from the pit to the palace, but the next day we're kicked out. You have to keep your composure in this season. We need not just the gifts of the Spirit. We need the fruit of the Spirit.